Thank you to our frontline patrons, Strawbones, Rotom4765, Midnight Gemlord, Art Goon, and Sean. You know, one of the most wild things about the Seven Deadly Sins world is that, like, no matter what, there can be no long-term happiness or, like, interconnectedness between people. And, like, ironically enough, the different races, which is what Arthur is talking about now. Because, like, when you really think about it, everything is destined for, like, the end, one way or another. Look at our main group, our main couple, really. Elizabeth and Meliodas. Now, in this current life, Meliodas may still be technically pseudo-immortal, like his dad, and or at least live the rest of his 1,000 years if you don't think he's pseudo-immortal. Elizabeth has at best 100 now, because she's trapped in a mortal vessel, meaning Meliodas will either have to spend the rest of the centuries living without his one true love, or will have to off himself to go join her. That's sad. Elaine and Bon. Bon, in its valiant attempt to bring Elaine back to life, succeeded, but now Elaine either once again has to watch as the love of her life grows old and leaves her for who knows how long, because Elaine is technically very young. Look at Gerharde. She's been around for 3,000 years, and not in the I was sealed away for 3,000 years. No, like biologically living and breathing for 3,000 years, and she looks no worse for wear. She doesn't look like she's going anywhere anytime soon. Meanwhile, Bon, unless he has some leftover longevity from the Fountain of Youth, which doesn't seem to be implied, he's at best got like 80, 70 years left in him. So Elaine, once again, is either going to have to live out the rest of her days alone, or all that work that Bond did would have been for nothing, because she's just going to have to undo it, to put it lightly. The tragedy doesn't stop there. Say Escanor somehow magically survived. It seems like Merlin had no interest in casting her variation of Chrono Coffin on him. She had no interest in making him immortal. So Escanor would have worshipped her for all of his life, only to be just a blip in it, realistically. Merlin's also been alive, living and breathing for 3,000 years, and Escanor, heck, especially if he had kept his grace, he wouldn't have stayed around for that long, and Merlin would have been left alone all over again. However, it appears she was fine with that in the first place. But heck, Merlin is a tragic character in of herself. If she really kept her time stopped, she would watch everyone and everything she knows and loves and cares for slowly age and die. From Meliodas to King to Diane to all of her friends and essentially her family at this point, she would watch unchanged as time went on. It's really, really sad. King and Diane are the closest thing to happiness in a happy couple, as they have extremely long lifespans, both of them claiming that centuries just seem to fly by. But even still, King is a biological royal fairy. The tree doesn't seem to produce any new ones until the old one is somehow ousted, lost, or dead. So King may watch the love of his life slowly but surely age, slowly but surely slow, and while he'll have centuries upon centuries, if not millennia, memories of her, he may end up watching the years, which will turn to decades, which will turn to centuries, which will turn to millennia, which may turn to eons, go by without her, alone, all over again. And the same thing continues even into our new cast of characters, because Percival and Gawain, as far as we know, are human in the purest form. Gawain with one external power that seems to be limited in of itself. At best, they'll make it to 150 if they have a lot of vitality. Meanwhile, Lance, he's a royal fairy, if only half so. So he's going to watch his two friends, one of which he recruited and trained and helped raise into the person he was going to be, slowly age and leave him behind to guard the world in his stead. Same thing with Gawain. And to maybe an even darker degree, considering if you think goddesses live longer than fairies do, then Tristan will watch his brother in arms, his only real flesh and blood left, likely by the time at the end of the series, slowly age. He's more human than Tristan is. So he's going to watch Lance grow older and older and older and older. And he'll last. They may live millennia together. Eons. But soon Tristan will be the last guard. As the world crumbles away, he'll be there still. An ancient creature destined to live on forever as the child of the gods. And it's a really cruel fate. It's a understated part of Seven Deadly Sins, don't get me wrong. You never necessarily see Nakaba highlight anything about the species-wide differences, unless it's for a minor lore tidbit or, at worst, a joke. And that's fine. I'm not saying that Seven Deadly Sins has to be all melancholy and sad and stuff like that. And we really think about like, oh no, these characters thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years later are going to end up not living anymore. It's not like we're ever going to see that. I highly doubt Nagaba's going to write the epilogue of Four Nights with Tristan standing over the graves of his three friends that he helped save the world with as the world crumbles around him. I highly doubt we're going to get that. I don't think we're ever going to see King staring wistfully off into the distance as he sits by the grave of his wife. I don't think we're ever going to see that. Same thing with Meliodas. Not because I don't think the Sins are going to survive till the end of Four Nights of the Apocalypse. So I don't think they're going to have any worries about that. But it's still sad to think about. I don't know, at least to me. And I think it adds, like, a beautiful, sad, dark, yet healthy layer to Seven Deadly Sins that really teaches you a subconscious message. Enjoy the time with the people you have, because you don't know how long they'll be there with you. And this applies to not just fictional creatures who live for hundreds, if not thousands, of our regular human lifespans. This applies to people like us, people like you and me, people with those that we care about, we love, we respect. Time forever marches on. None of us are immortal. None of us will probably live to see the year of 2300. So we have to take the time that we have now and cherish it, enjoy it, respect it, because eventually we won't even be dust. Our flesh and bones will have rotted away and become new life. The ever-ending cycle, or the never-ending cycle of life and death, will forever churn on. And I think it's ever present and ever noticeable in a world like Seven Deadly Sins. A world that, ironically enough, is so steeped in death yet avoids it so well. Only one real death. I lie. A couple deaths. But in comparison to the revivals, death is an understated part of the Seven Deadly Sins narrative. It's something we all fear. It's something we all wish to avoid. It's something that characters within the narrative wish to avoid, except for our two immortals. And even with that being the case, we shouldn't fear it. We should use that limited time, the limited understanding to build those memories, to develop those bonds, to enjoy our existence. Because while we may not be a demon, goddess, human hybrid who will stand at the edge of creation as he watches the sun consume the earth, nor will we be an ancient fairy king millennia upon millennia upon millennia down the line, guarding the same tree he guarded 10,000 years ago, or will even be a pseudo-immortal ruling over a realm of chaos and darkness, like Zeldris will be, with nothing left but the remains of our vampiric wife, holed up, protected by us. But we are human, and we are fragile. So we must enjoy what we have before the fragile vases that are our lives break apart. And I think Seven Deadly Sins and Four Nights of the Apocalypse is telling you that. And a lot of other stories will. However, that's what I think. Please tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry, I know it's so weird to do my outro after that. I got really introspective. But thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below. And support for as low as $1 a month. You'll exclusive videos, early content, and more. You'll also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.